The grand halls of the Galactic Council buzzed with tension. Beings from 1,000 worlds filled the chamber, their eyes fixed on the central podium. There, a small group of humans stood, their faces a mix of anger and disbelief. High Counselor Zaxthor, a tall, blue-skinned alien with 4 arms, raised his voice. "The decision is final," he boomed. "Humanity is hereby exiled from the Galactic Council." A collective gasp echoed through the hall. The human ambassador, Sarah Chen, stepped forward. "On what grounds?" she demanded, her voice steady despite the shock. Zaxthor's eyes narrowed. "Your species is too aggressive, too unpredictable. You bring chaos wherever you go." "The Council has spoken." Sarah's fists clenched at her sides. She looked around at the other council members, searching for allies, but found only averted gazes and uncomfortable shuffling. "You can't do this," she said, her voice rising. "We've contributed so much to the galactic community. Our scientists, our artists." "Enough," Zaxthor interrupted. "The decision stands. You have 1 standard galactic month to withdraw all human presence from Council space. After that, any human found outside the Sol system will be treated as a hostile entity." The words fell like a hammer blow. Sarah felt her colleagues' hands on her shoulders, pulling her back. They knew this fight was lost, at least for now. As the humans were escorted out of the council chambers, whispers followed them. Some aliens looked sympathetic, others relieved. But most just seemed glad it wasn't their species being cast out. Back on their ship, the Earthlight, Sarah paced the bridge. Her team watched her, waiting for guidance. "This isn't over," she finally said, her voice low but determined. "We won't go quietly into exile." Dr. Raj Patel, the chief scientist, nodded. "But what can we do? The Council's military force is vastly superior to ours." Sarah stopped pacing and looked out at the stars. "We adapt. We survive. It's what humans do best." Over the next few weeks, as news of the exile spread across human space, reactions varied. Some wanted to fight, to show the Council they couldn't push humanity around. Others suggested compliance, hoping to someday regain the Council's trust. But as ships began returning to Earth, carrying humans from far-flung colonies and outposts, a new sentiment began to take hold. It wasn't just anger or fear, but determination. In a historic address, the President of the United Earth Government spoke to billions. "Today, we face our greatest challenge," she said, her image broadcast on screens across the planet, and to ships in space. "But we will not bow. We will not break. We are humanity, and we will prove our worth to the galaxy." Cheers erupted in cities around the world. On space stations and ships, humans hugged and cried, but there was fire in their eyes. In the following days, a plan began to take shape. If the Council thought humans were aggressive and unpredictable, then they'd show them just how innovative they could be. In secret facilities on Earth and hidden bases on Mars and Europa, work began. The best minds in physics, engineering, and military strategy came together. Their goal: to create a ship unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. As the deadline for their exile approached, humans put on a show of compliance. Ships returned to Sol, colonies were dismantled. To the watching Council observers, it seemed humanity had accepted its fate. But deep in the asteroid belt, in a hollow space rock shielded from prying eyes, the real work continued. Day and night, researchers and engineers toiled. They poured every ounce of human ingenuity and determination into their secret project. The ship took shape slowly at first, then faster as new breakthroughs were made. It incorporated technology traded from alien allies, reverse-engineered from recovered artifacts, and invented through sheer human stubbornness. Sarah Chen, now working as a liaison between the government and the project team, watched the ship grow with a mix of pride and anticipation. "This," she told Dr. Patel one day, as they observed the construction, "is how we'll change our fate." Raj nodded, his eyes gleaming with excitement. "The Council thinks they've seen what humanity is capable of," he said, They have no idea. As the last human ships made a show of retreating to Earth, as the Council breathed a sigh of relief, thinking the troublesome humans were contained, the secret ship neared completion. In the dark of space, unseen by Council eyes, humanity prepared its return to the galactic stage. They would not be ignored. They would not be exiled. The humans were coming back, and the galaxy would never be the same. Deep within the hollow asteroid, hidden from the prying eyes of the Galactic Council, Project Vindication was in full swing. The cavernous space buzzed with activity as humans worked tirelessly on their secret weapon, a warship unlike any the galaxy had ever seen. Dr. Raj Patel wiped sweat from his brow as he studied the holographic display before him. The ship's schematics floated in the air, a complex web of cutting-edge technology and daring innovations. "How's it looking, Raj?" Sarah Chen asked, approaching from behind. Raj turned, a tired but excited smile on his face. "We're making progress. The quantum drive is finally stabilizing." Sarah nodded, her eyes scanning the busy work floor below. Hundreds of engineers and scientists scurried about, each focused on their crucial tasks. "And the stealth systems?" "Better than we hoped," Raj replied. "If our calculations are correct, we'll be practically invisible to Council sensors." As they spoke, a young engineer rushed up to them, tablet in hand. "Dr. Patel, Ambassador Chen," she said, slightly out of breath. "We've had a breakthrough with the adaptive armor." Raj took the tablet, his eyes widening as he scrolled through the data. "This is incredible. How did you manage it?" The engineer, Lisa Wong, beamed with pride. "We combined the Zorgon crystalline structure with our nano-regeneration tech. The armor doesn't just resist damage, it learns from it." Sarah placed a hand on Lisa's shoulder. "Excellent work. This could be the edge we need." As the days turned into weeks, the ship began to take shape. Its sleek hull gleamed under the asteroid's artificial lights, a testament to human determination and ingenuity. But it wasn't just the ship's technology that made it special. Each system, each component, carried the hopes and dreams of humanity. The quantum drive was built by a team whose families had been forcibly relocated from distant colonies. The weapons systems were designed by veterans who had fought alongside Council forces, only to be cast aside. Every part of the ship had a story, a reason for being. One evening, as the project entered its final stages, Sarah found herself alone in the observation deck. She stared at the nearly completed warship, lost in thought. "Quite a sight, isn't it?" a voice said behind her. Sarah turned to see Captain Miguel Ortiz, the man chosen to lead the ship's maiden voyage. He joined her at the window, his experienced eyes assessing their creation. "It's more than just a ship, Miguel," Sarah said softly. "It's our future." Miguel nodded solemnly. "The responsibility weighs heavy. We'll be carrying the hopes of every human in the galaxy. Are you ready for that burden?" Sarah asked, studying his face. The captain stood straighter, a fierce determination in his eyes. "I've been ready since the day they exiled us. We all have." As the completion date neared, tension and excitement built throughout the secret base. Final systems were tested, supplies were loaded, and the crew began their intensive training. The ship needed a name, something to embody the spirit of their mission. After much debate, they settled on Hess Phoenix, a symbol of humanity rising from the ashes of their exile. On the eve of the launch, Sarah addressed the assembled crew and project staff. The cavern fell silent as she stepped onto a makeshift stage, all eyes fixed on her. "Tomorrow," she began, her voice carrying to every corner of the vast space, "we take our first step towards reclaiming our place in the galaxy. The Council thought they could silence us, contain us. They were wrong." A murmur of agreement rippled through the crowd. "Each of you has poured your heart and soul into this project. The Phoenix is more than a warship. It's a testament to human spirit, to our unwillingness to accept defeat. When we reach the Council, we'll show them exactly what humanity is capable of." Cheers erupted, echoing off the asteroid's walls. The excitement was palpable, an electric current running through the assembled humans. As the launch countdown began the next day, a sense of nervous anticipation filled the air. Engineers made last-minute checks, crew members said goodbye to loved ones, and everyone held their breath. Captain Ortiz settled into the command chair on the bridge, his hand hovering over the launch control. He looked at his crew, each face a mix of determination and anticipation. For Earth, he said solemnly. For humanity. With a press of a button, the great hangar doors began to open. Slowly, majestically, the HFY Phoenix rose from its birthplace, its sleek form gliding into the star-studded blackness of space. As the ship accelerated away from the asteroid base, its quantum drive humming to life, every human involved in the project felt a surge of pride. The Phoenix wasn't just carrying a crew, it was carrying the future of humanity. The Galactic Council had no idea what was coming. Humanity was about to make its return, and nothing would ever be the same again. The HFY Phoenix glided silently through the vast emptiness of space, its advanced stealth systems rendering it invisible to the numerous patrol ships and sensor arrays it passed. On the bridge, Captain Miguel Ortiz sat tensely in his command chair, his eyes fixed on the main view screen. "Status report," he ordered, his voice calm despite the tension in the air. His second-in-command, Commander Yuki Tanaka, responded promptly. "All systems nominal, Captain. We're approaching the Galactic Council headquarters. ETA 10 minutes. Miguel nodded, a grim smile on his face. "Excellent. Maintain stealth protocols. We don't want to spoil the surprise." As the Phoenix neared its destination, activity on the bridge increased. Crew members double-checked systems, ran final diagnostics, and prepared for the moment they'd all been waiting for. In her quarters, Sarah Chen paced nervously. As the diplomatic face of this mission, she knew the weight of responsibility that rested on her shoulders. The coming confrontation would determine the future of humanity in the galaxy. A soft chime interrupted her thoughts. "Ambassador Chen to the bridge." Captain Ortiz's voice came through the comm system. "We're almost there." Sarah took a deep breath, straightened her uniform, and headed for the bridge. As she entered, all eyes turned to her momentarily before returning to their stations. She took her place beside the captain's chair. "Ready?" Miguel asked quietly. Sarah nodded, her face set with determination. "As ready as I'll ever be." The massive structure of the Galactic Council headquarters came into view on the main screen. It was a sprawling complex of interconnected buildings and docking bays, home to representatives from thousands of alien species. Hundreds of ships of various sizes and designs swarmed around it like bees around a hive. "Disengage stealth systems," Miguel ordered. "Let's make an entrance they won't forget." Suddenly, alarms blared across the council complex. The HFY Phoenix shimmered into view, its imposing form dwarfing many of the ships around it. Panic ensued as the unexpected appearance of a human warship threw the entire area into chaos. Inside the council chambers, the session came to an abrupt halt. High Counselor Zaxthor, who had been in the middle of a speech, stumbled over his words as an aide rushed to whisper urgently in his ear. "What do you mean, a human ship?" Zaxthor bellowed, his forearms gesticulating wildly. They were supposed to be contained in their system. On the Phoenix, Sarah watched the confusion with a mix of satisfaction and apprehension. "Open a channel to the council chambers," she instructed. The main screen flickered, and suddenly they were face to face with a visibly shaken Zaxthor and the assembled council members. Gasps and murmurs rippled through the alien crowd as they recognized Sarah. "Greetings, High Counselor," Sarah said, her voice steady and confident. "I hope we're not interrupting anything important." Zaxthor's face contorted with a mix of anger and fear. "Ambassador Chen, what is the meaning of this? You are in direct violation of the exile order." Sarah smiled coolly. "About that exile order, we've decided it doesn't work for us. We're here to renegotiate our position in the galactic community." The council erupted into chaos. Some members shouted for immediate military action, while others called for calm and negotiation. Thor struggled to maintain order. "You have no right to be here," he finally managed to say. "Leave immediately, or we will be forced to take action." Captain Ortiz leaned into view. "I wouldn't recommend that, Counselor. Our ship, the Phoenix, is more than capable of defending itself, and we'd hate to cause any unfortunate incidents." The implied threat hung in the air. The council members looked at each other nervously, suddenly very aware of their vulnerability. Sarah stepped forward again. "We're not here to start a war, High Counselor. We're here to talk. To show you that humanity deserves a place at this table, we request an emergency session of the full council to review our case." Thor sputtered, his blue skin turning a deeper shade. This is unprecedented. You can't just demand a council session." "Can't we?" Sarah replied, her eyebrow raised. "I believe we just did. And given the circumstances, it might be in everyone's best interest to hear us out." The council chamber fell silent as the gravity of the situation sank in. The humans, supposed to be safely exiled, had returned with a show of force and technological prowess that no one had anticipated. After what seemed like an eternity, Thor slumped in his chair. "Very well," he said, his voice resigned. "The council will convene in one standard hour to discuss this situation." Sarah nodded, allowing herself a small smile. "Thank you, High Counselor. We look forward to the discussion." As the transmission ended, the bridge of the Phoenix erupted into cheers. They had done it. They had forced the council to listen. But Sarah and Miguel exchanged a knowing look. This was just the beginning. The real challenge was yet to come. The Grand Council chamber buzzed with tension as representatives from across the galaxy filed in. The unexpected arrival of the human warship had thrown the entire galactic community into turmoil. As promised, exactly 1 hour after their dramatic entrance, Sarah Chen and Captain Miguel Ortiz transported down to the council headquarters. As they materialized in the antechamber, Sarah straightened her jacket. "Ready for this, Miguel?" The captain nodded grimly. "As ready as I'll ever be. Let's show them what humanity is made of." They strode into the council chamber, heads held high. A hush fell over the assembled aliens as they walked to the center of the room. High Counselor Thor glowered at them from his elevated podium. "Ambassador Chen, Captain Ortiz," he said, his voice strained. "You have the floor. Explain your unprecedented actions." Sarah stepped forward, her voice clear and strong. "Esteemed members of the Galactic Council, we stand before you today not as exiles, but as equals. The decision to cast humanity aside was short-sighted and unjust. We are here to demonstrate why." A murmur rippled through the chamber. Sarah continued, undeterred. "You called us aggressive and unpredictable, but those very traits have driven us to achieve the impossible. The ship that brought us here, the HSS Phoenix, is a testament to human ingenuity and determination." Captain Ortiz activated a holographic projector displaying schematics of the Phoenix. Gasps of surprise and awe echoed around the room as the advanced technology was revealed. "Impossible," one council member, a serpentine alien, hissed. "No species could develop such technology so quickly." "That's where you're wrong," Miguel replied firmly. "When backed into a corner, humans become capable of extraordinary feats. We didn't just build a ship, we pushed the boundaries of science itself." The chamber erupted into chaos. Some council members shouted accusations of theft or deception, while others called for immediate study of the human technology. Thor struggled to maintain order. Amidst the commotion, a small avian alien stepped forward. "I am Representative Krila Khanna of the Aviorans," she chirped. "We have always found humans to be fascinating and resourceful. Perhaps we were too hasty in our judgment." Several other representatives nodded in agreement, but many still looked skeptical or outright hostile. Thor's face darkened. "Fascinating. Resourceful. They are dangerous. This display of force only proves our original point. Sarah's eyes flashed. With all due respect, High Counselor, we came here in peace. We could have attacked, but we chose diplomacy. Isn't that proof that we deserve a place in this council? A tense silence fell over the chamber. The fate of humanity hung in the balance. Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the complex. A harried aide rushed to Zaxthor, whispering urgently in his ear. The High Counselor's eyes widened in shock. "Impossible," he muttered. Then, louder, "We are detecting a massive energy signature approaching council space. It's the Void Horde." Gasps of horror echoed through the chamber. The Void Horde, a nightmarish swarm of energy-eating entities, was the stuff of galactic legends and nightmares. No one had seen them in millennia, and no known weapon could stop them. Captain Ortiz and Sarah exchanged glances. This was not part of their plan, but it could be the opportunity they needed. "High Counselor," Miguel said, stepping forward, "the Phoenix is equipped with experimental weapons that might be effective against the Void Horde. Allow us to help defend the Council." Zaxthor looked conflicted. "And why should we trust you?" Sarah met his gaze steadily. "Because despite everything, we're all part of this galaxy. Humans don't turn their backs on those in need, even if they've wronged us. Let us prove our worth not through words, but through actions." The chamber fell silent as all eyes turned to Zaxthor. The High Counselor seemed to age years in those few moments, the weight of the decision heavy on his shoulders. Finally, he spoke. "Very well, humans. Show us what you can do. But know this, the future of your species in this council depends on your actions today." Sarah and Miguel nodded solemnly. As they turned to leave, preparing to face the oncoming threat, the atmosphere in the council chamber had shifted. Fear of the Void Horde mingled with a newfound curiosity about the humans and their capabilities. As they transported back to the Phoenix, Sarah allowed herself a small smile. "Well, Miguel, looks like we've got our chance to shine." The captain's face was grim but determined. "Indeed we do, Ambassador. Let's show the galaxy what humanity is truly capable of." The HSS Phoenix powered up its systems, preparing to face a threat that had terrorized the galaxy for eons. The real test of humanity was about to begin. The HSS Phoenix streaked through space, its engines pushing to maximum capacity. On the bridge, Captain Miguel Ortiz stood tense, his eyes fixed on the tactical display. Behind him, Sarah Chen watched nervously as the crew worked with practiced efficiency. "Status report," Miguel barked. Commander Yuki Tanaka responded promptly. "We're approaching the edge of Council space, Captain. Long-range sensors are detecting massive energy disturbances. The Void Horde is close." Miguel nodded grimly. "All right, people. This is what we've trained for. Let's show the galaxy what humans can do." As they neared their destination, the true scale of the threat became apparent. The Void Horde was a writhing mass of dark energy, consuming everything in its path. Stars dimmed as the Horde approached. Planets were reduced to lifeless husks. Sarah gasped. It's enormous. How can we possibly stop that?" Miguel's jaw tightened. "We have to try. For Earth, for humanity, and for every species in this galaxy." Suddenly, the comm system crackled to life. High Counselor Zaxthor's face appeared on the screen, his usual composure replaced by barely concealed panic. "Captain Ortiz," he said, his voice strained. "The Council's defensive fleet is mobilizing. But we've never faced anything like this. What do you propose?" Miguel straightened, his voice steady as he replied. "High Counselor, we have a plan. But we'll need the Council fleet to buy us some time." Zaxthor nodded reluctantly. "Very well. But be swift. We're counting on you." As the transmission ended, Miguel turned to his crew. "All right, let's put our secret weapon to the test. Dr. Patel, are you ready?" Dr. Raj Patel's voice came through the intercom from the engine room. "As ready as we'll ever be, Captain." The quantum resonance cannon is charged and waiting. Good, Miguel said. Helm, take us in. Weapons, prepare to fire on my mark. The Phoenix dove towards the Void Horde, weaving through the chaos of battle. Council ships engaged the outer tendrils of the Horde, their weapons seeming to have little effect. As they neared firing range, the ship shuddered violently. We're caught in the Horde's energy field. Yuki shouted, shields are dropping. Miguel gripped his chair. Divert all power to the QRC. We only get one shot at this. The bridge lights dimmed as energy flowed to the experimental weapon. The Void Horde loomed large on the view screen, its dark mass threatening to engulf them. Now, Miguel, Sarah urged, her knuckles white, as she gripped a console. Fire, Miguel commanded. A brilliant beam of energy erupted from the Phoenix, cutting through the darkness of space. It struck the heart of the Void Horde. And for a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then suddenly, the Horde began to writhe and contort. Fissures of light appeared within its mass, growing larger by the second. It's working. Rad's excited voice came through the comm. The quantum resonance is disrupting their energy structure. The crew watched in awe as the Void Horde began to disintegrate, its energy dissipating harmlessly into space. Cheers erupted on the bridge as the threat that had terrified the galaxy for eons was vanquished in a matter of minutes. As the last remnants of the Horde faded away, the Phoenix was hailed by dozens of council ships. Messages of gratitude and amazement poured in from across the galaxy. High Counselor Zack Thor's face appeared on the screen once more, his expression a mix of relief and disbelief. Captain Ortiz, Ambassador Chen, we, the entire galaxy, owes you a debt of gratitude. Your actions today have saved countless lives. Sarah stepped forward. Thank you, High Counselor. We hope this demonstrates that humanity has much to offer the galactic community. Zack Thor nodded solemnly. Indeed it does, Ambassador. Perhaps we were too hasty in our judgment of your species. The Council will need to reconsider its position on humanity's exile. As the transmission ended, the bridge erupted in cheers once more. Miguel turned to Sarah, a tired but triumphant smile on his face. We did it. We actually did it. Sarah nodded, her eyes shining with pride and hope. Yes, we did. But this is just the beginning, Miguel. Now comes the hard part, building a lasting peace with the Council. As the Phoenix turned back towards the Council headquarters, the mood on the ship was one of cautious optimism. They had faced the ultimate test and emerged victorious. Humanity had proven its worth to the galaxy in the most spectacular way possible. But as Sarah had said, this was just the beginning. The real challenge lay ahead, reshaping humanity's place in the galactic community and ensuring a brighter future for all species. With the memory of their triumph fresh in their minds, the crew of the Phoenix prepared for the next chapter in humanity's cosmic adventure. The Grand Council chamber, which had earlier been a scene of tense confrontation, now buzzed with excitement and curiosity. Representatives from across the galaxy gathered once more, this time to hear the full account of humanity's triumph over the Void Horde. Sarah Chen and Captain Miguel Ortiz stood at the center of the chamber, surrounded by holographic displays showing the battle against the cosmic threat. The images of the Phoenix facing down the massive, writhing darkness of the Void Horde drew gasps and murmurs of awe from the assembled aliens. High Counselor Zack Thor, his demeanor markedly different from their last encounter, addressed the chamber. Esteemed colleagues, we are here today to recognize an unprecedented act of bravery and ingenuity. The humans, whom we had exiled, returned in our hour of need and saved us all from a threat we thought undefeatable. Sarah stepped forward, her voice clear and confident. Thank you, High Counselor. What you saw was the result of human determination, creativity, and our unwavering spirit in the face of adversity. She gestured to the holographic display, which now showed a detailed schematic of the quantum resonance cannon. This weapon, the key to our victory, was developed in mere months after our exile. It stands as proof of what humanity can achieve when pushed to our limits. The chamber erupted in a flurry of questions. Representatives clamored to know more about the technology, the battle, and the humans themselves. Miguel fielded the technical queries, explaining in simple terms how they had weaponized quantum entanglement to disrupt the Void Horde's energy structure. As the questions continued, a small tentacled alien wriggled to the front. "But how?" it asked, its voice filled with wonder. "How did you create such advanced technology so quickly?" Miguel smiled. "It's simple. Really. We cooperated. We put aside our differences and worked together towards a common goal. Scientists, engineers, soldiers, everyone contributed their unique skills and perspectives." Sarah nodded in agreement. "That's the true strength of humanity. We're not just individuals, but a collective force capable of incredible feats when united." The chamber fell silent as the aliens pondered this. Many looked at each other, seeming to reassess their view of the human species. Zaxthor cleared his throat. "Ambassador Chen, Captain Ortiz, your actions have forced us to reconsider our previous judgment. The Council will need time to deliberate on humanity's status, but know that you have earned our deepest gratitude and respect." As the formal session concluded, the chamber buzzed with excited conversations. Many representatives approached Sarah and Miguel, eager to learn more about Earth and its people. The Aviaran representative, Krilakana, fluttered up to them. "Humans," she chirped excitedly, "your bravery and ingenuity are truly remarkable. The Aviaran Confederation would be honored to establish formal diplomatic relations with Earth." Similar offers came from other species, each impressed by humanity's display of technological prowess and selfless heroism. What had started as a desperate gambit for recognition had turned into a diplomatic triumph. As they prepared to return to the Phoenix, Sarah and Miguel found a moment alone. "We did it, Miguel," Sarah said, her voice filled with emotion. "We've changed everything." Miguel nodded, a proud smile on his face. "Indeed we have, Sarah. But this is just the beginning. We've opened the door, now we need to step through it." Their conversation was interrupted by an aide, who approached with a message. "Ambassador, Captain," the aide said, "the Council has made a preliminary decision. They wish to send a delegation to Earth to discuss full reinstatement of humanity into the galactic community." Sarah and Miguel exchanged shocked looks. This was more than they had dared hope for. "Thank you," Sarah said to the aide. "Please inform the Council that we would be honored to host their delegation." As they walked back to their ship, a new sense of purpose filled them. They had come seeking to prove humanity's worth, and had succeeded beyond their wildest dreams. Now, they faced the challenge of building a new relationship with the galactic community. The Phoenix, once a symbol of human defiance, now represented hope and unity. As it prepared for the journey home, its crew knew they were carrying not just themselves, but the dreams and aspirations of all humanity. Earth awaited, ready to take its place among the stars. The future, bright with possibility, beckoned. Humanity had triumphed against all odds, and the greatest adventure was just beginning. The sun rose over New York City, its rays glinting off the sleek buildings of the United Earth Government headquarters. But today, the city's eyes were turned skyward, where a shimmering portal had opened in the clear blue sky. From this portal emerged a procession of alien ships, their designs as varied as the species they represented. At the head of this cosmic parade flew the HSS Phoenix, proudly escorting the Galactic Council delegation to Earth. On the ground, crowds had gathered in every major city across the globe. Massive screens displayed the approaching ships, and a palpable excitement filled the air. After years of exile, humanity was about to rejoin the galactic community. Inside the Phoenix, Sarah Chen and Captain Miguel Ortiz stood on the bridge, watching Earth grow larger in the viewscreen. "Hard to believe it's only been a year since we left," Sarah mused. Miguel nodded, a smile on his face. "And what a year it's been. From exiles to galactic heroes. Not bad for a species the Council thought was too aggressive and unpredictable. As the ships entered Earth's atmosphere, they were met by a squadron of Earth's finest pilots, performing an intricate aerial dance of welcome. The alien visitors watched in awe as human aircraft looped and swirled around their ships, demonstrating the precision and skill that humans were capable of. The landing site was a newly constructed spaceport outside New York. As the ships touched down, a hush fell over the watching crowds. The moment they had all been waiting for had arrived. High Counselor Zack Thor was the first to emerge, his 4 arms raised in a gesture of peace. He was followed by representatives from dozens of alien species, each step they took on Earth's soil a historic moment. The President of the United Earth Government stepped forward to greet them. "Welcome to Earth," she said, her voice carried to every corner of the globe by advanced broadcasting technology. "We are honored to host the Galactic Council and look forward to a new era of cooperation and understanding." Zack Thor nodded solemnly. "On behalf of the Galactic Council, I thank you for your welcome. We come seeking to right a wrong and to embrace humanity as full members of our galactic family." The formal ceremonies that followed were broadcast across Earth and to every corner of the galaxy. Humans and aliens alike watched as treaties were signed, alliances were forged, and a new chapter in galactic history began. But it wasn't just political alliances being formed. In the days that followed, cultural exchanges flourished. Alien artists marveled at human creativity. Scientists from across the stars engaged in passionate debates with their Earth counterparts, and interspecies friendships began to bloom. 1 month after the delegation's arrival, a grand ceremony was held at the United Nations headquarters. Representatives from Earth and the Galactic Council gathered to officially welcome humanity back into the galactic community. As Sarah Chen took the podium, she looked out at the diverse audience before her, humans and aliens united in this historic moment. "A year ago," she began, "we stood before the Council as exiles, fighting for our place in the galaxy. Today, we stand as partners, as friends, as fellow explorers of the cosmic frontier." She gestured to the assembled alien representatives. "Our new friends have shown us wonders beyond imagination, shared knowledge accumulated over millennia. And in return, we've shown them the unique spirit of humanity, our creativity, our determination, our ability to unite in the face of adversity." Sarah's voice grew passionate. "But this is just the beginning. Together, we will face challenges we can't yet imagine. We will make discoveries that will reshape our understanding of the universe, and we will do it not as separate species, but as a united galactic community." As Sarah's speech concluded, the chamber erupted in applause. Humans and aliens alike rose to their feet, the sound of their cheers echoing around the world and across the stars. In the years that followed, humanity's influence spread throughout the galaxy. Earth became a hub of interstellar commerce and cultural exchange. Human innovations, combined with alien technologies, led to advancements that benefited all species. The HSS Phoenix, the ship that had changed everything, was retired and turned into a museum. It stood as a monument to human perseverance and ingenuity, a reminder of how far they had come. And as humans ventured out into the galaxy, settling on distant worlds and making new discoveries, they carried with them the lesson they had learned, that even in the vastness of space, unity, courage, and determination could overcome any obstacle. The stars, once distant and unreachable, had become humanity's new frontier. And in this vast, cosmic ocean, the human spirit shone as brightly as any star.